Good morning, everybody. We are here to say a call for solidarity. Dear trade unionists, allies, and comrades in the fight for justice, we gather here today not just as witnesses, but as active participants in a critical moment in history, a moment where the very existence of the Palestinian people is under threat. Over a year has passed since the Israelis' genocidal assault on the occupied Palestinian territories began. Yet, the military aggression continues to devastate Gaza and the West Bank. This is not a temporary crisis. It is part of a systematic policy aimed at ethnic cleansing, turning Gaza into an uninhabitable land and displacing millions. It is a calculated and systematic campaign of genocide designed to erase a people and their heritage from the map. It's worth highlighting that Israel has dropped more than 85,000 tons of explosives on the Gaza Strip. The number of officially registered martyrs there has reached 42,500 Palestinians, including 16,859 children and 11,429 women. The true number of the martyrs is likely far higher, as thousands remain unaccounted for, buried under rubble, or lost in captivity. Tens of thousands more are suffering from untreated illnesses due to the collapse of Gaza's healthcare system. These numbers are not just statistics. They represent lives, families, hopes, and dreams destroyed. More than 173 journalists and about 986 medical personnel have been martyred to date, as well as local and international humanitarian and relief workers and law enforcement agencies have been targeted, their lives taken as part of a broader strategy to spread chaos and dismantle civil society. We are not just facing numbers. We are witnessing the systematic destruction of a people. 125 schools and universities have been completely destroyed, with more than 337 educational institutions partially obliterated. 130 scientists, academics, and professors, the intellectual backbone of our future, have been executed. In total, 12,700 students have lost their lives. Even places of worship have not been spared. 814 mosques and 3 churches have been reduced to rubble, with many more damaged. 15,000 homes have been completely destroyed, displacing nearly 85% of Gaza's population. The infrastructure of life itself is being erased. 130 engineers have been martyred, while 3,000 kilometers of electricity network and 330,000 meters of water networks and 655,000 meters of sewage systems have been obliterated, plunging the entire strip into humanitarian nightmare. For the past 14 days, 200,000 Palestinians have been besieged without food or water, subjected to ethnic cleansing and a more violent phase of genocide by the Israeli occupation in the northern Gaza Strip. This is not a conflict. It is a deliberate annihilation of a people. The assault is not limited to Gaza. In the West Bank, the same genocidal intent is clear. 742 martyrs, including 167 children, have been martyred since the start of the aggression. Settler militias roam freely, destroying homes, looting and bringing properties with impunity. 2,521 Palestinian structures have been demolished, displacing thousands more, including 26 Bedouin and pastoral communities in a campaign to annex more land. The scale of oppression is staggering. 11,000 Palestinians have been detained, many kidnapped from their homes. 40 detainees have been killed inside Israeli prisons, subjected to systematic torture, starvation, and rape. 582 bodies of martyrs are still held by the occupation. 56 of them are children, some discovered in mass graves. This is a state-sponsored terror at its most brutal. With winter approaching and in the light of Israel's targeting of the work of UNRWA and the attempt to cancel its legal status, the humanitarian crisis deepens. Thousands of displaced Palestinians, among them 26,000 children, living without their parents or without one of them, face the bitter cold in tents unfit for survival. The destruction of Gaza's infrastructure, coupled with the lack of medical supplies, food, water, and electricity, point as an impending catastrophe. It is our duty to act, not just with words, but with concrete steps. Israel's ongoing massacre against the people of Lebanon and the assassination of the leaders Saleh Aruri, Ismail Haniyeh, Hassan Nasrallah, and lately Yahya Sinwar shows its intent to widen its aggression and destruction even further. As trade unionists, activists, and advocates for justice, we cannot remain silent. In fact, the complicity of states, corporations, and institutions, and the silence of some of the international community have emboldened Israel to persist in its genocidal policies. Today, we are here not only to merely condemn Israel's atrocities, but to take action and to end the complicity in them. As trade unionists, we are supposed to stand at the forefront of the struggle against genocide and apartheid. Together, we must lead protests, boycott, and divestment campaigns, determining an end to complicity in these crimes. The trade union movement has always been a force for justice, and now, more than ever, you must escalate your efforts to support Palestine. This conference is a platform to strengthen the solidarity trade union, to strengthen the solidarity. Trade unionists must listen to the voices of Palestinian workers who bear the weight of this genocide. The goal should be clear: to increase pressure on governments, corporations, and institutions complicit in Israel's crimes, to end the normalization of apartheid, and to ensure that the voices of Palestinian workers are amplified in every trade union across the world. To highlight the situation of Palestinian workers in the Green Line as of October 7, 2023, official figures show that approximately 18,500 workers from Gaza has obtained permits to work in the Green Line as of in the year 2023. In addition to thousands more working without permits, following the events of October 7, all of these workers were dismissed from their jobs. Around 4,000 were arrested from various locations, while others were transferred either to the West Bank or to Gaza without the involvement of international organizations like the ICRC, placing them at significant risk. As trade unions, We expect you to escalate your divestment campaigns targeting those who profit from apartheid. You must challenge the attempts to normalize Israel's crimes, ensuring that your solidarity remains focused on justice for Palestine. Let me be clear, silence is complicity. We as trade unionists can no longer wait for governments to act. We must take the lead. We call on the international community to 1. Ceasefire and end to aggression. Take decisive action to immediately impose a ceasefire in Gaza and stop Israel's military assault on the occupied Palestinian territory. 2. End complicity in genocide. Stop the supply of military and dual-use materials to Israel. Arming a state engaged in genocide is complicity in that genocide. 3. Humanitarian access. Facilitate the immediate access of humanitarian relief organizations to Gaza to provide essential aid, food, shelter, and medical care to the displaced and suffering population. 4. Implementation of international law. Enforce the 2024 International Court of Justice rulings that impose temporary measures on Israel, requiring the assassination of its genocidal action in Gaza. This conference, organized by the Palestine Solidarity Campaign, is a vital step towards escalating actions in support of Palestinian freedom. We are aware that the UK trade unions movement already taken the lead in organizing divestment campaigns targeting institutions complicit in Israel's apartheid regime, but we must do more. It is time to step up efforts to challenge the normalization of Israel's apartheid system. It is time to expose those who attempt to sideline solidarity efforts by promoting narrative of hatred rather than focusing on the system of settler, colonial, and apartheid oppression Palestinians face. And most of all, it is time to continue organizing within your unions, supporting activists who tirelessly champion justice, equality, and freedom for the Palestinian people. Friends, let us not lose sight of the root cause of this conflict. Israel's 76 years old racist settler colonial regime. It is a system of oppression that thrives on apartheid, genocide, and the systematic violation of Palestinian human rights. As long as this regime persists, there will be no peace, no justice, and no dignity. Our message is clear. We are here to stay. The Palestinian people will not be erased. Our history, our culture, and our land and our identity are not for sale. We call on all trade unions and people of conscience to stand strong and united. Together, we will fight and end occupation. We will fight against genocide and apartheid, for justice and peace in Palestine. Finally, I ask for mercy for the martyrs, a swift recovery for the wounded, and freedom for all prisoners. Free, free Palestine. Thank you.